The most dangerous water at the beach is the water that looks the safest. Not the crashing waves, not the white water, the calm, dark, gentle-looking channel between them, the spot almost everyone would choose to swim. Right now, that channel is a river. It is flowing away from the beach, and at full strength, it moves faster than the fastest swimmer who has ever lived. Every year, in the United States alone, it kills more than 100 people. It causes more than 80% of everything a beach lifeguard ever does. And here is the strangest part. The current itself cannot drown you. It is physically incapable of pulling you under. So how does something that can't drown you kill hundreds of people? The answer comes down to about 3 minutes and one decision that feels completely wrong. This is what actually happens when a rip current takes you. First, forget the word you grew up with. There is no such thing as an undertow. A rip current does not pull down, it pulls out. It is a horizontal current, a treadmill running along the surface of the water, pointed straight out to sea. It forms because of a simple problem of plumbing. Waves push water up onto the beach, and that water has to get back out. Where the waves break over a shallow sandbar, the water can't easily flow back the way it came, so it finds a gap, a break in the sandbar, a deeper channel, and it funnels through it, all of it, at once. That funnel is the rip, and this is why the beach lies to your eyes. Breaking waves mean shallow water, a sandbar underneath. A smooth, dark gap in the waves means a deep channel with a current running through it. Rough water is the safe water. The calm patch is the trap. Rips form on almost any beach with breaking waves, near piers, near jetties, at gaps in sandbars. Not just oceans, the Great Lakes produce them too, and they kill there as well. Most days, most rips are slow, 1 to 2 feet per second, a lazy drift. But when the waves, the tide, and the shape of the seabed line up, they have been measured at 8 feet per second. An Olympic swimmer sprinting flat out over 50 meters cannot match that. And an Olympic sprint lasts seconds. The current does not get tired. So, it's a hot afternoon. The sea between the breakers looks calm and inviting. You wade in, and the clock starts. Second zero. Here is what being caught in a rip current feels like. Nothing. There is no tug, no grab, no sensation at all. You are simply moving with the water around you the way a passenger moves with a train. Scientists who study rips, who deliberately swim into them with GPS units, describe exactly this. You feel nothing because you are going with the flow. That is the first weapon the rip has. Not force, silence. 30 seconds. You glance up at the beach to check on your things, and the beach is wrong. Your towel isn't where it was. The people have shifted sideways. Everything looks smaller. You put your feet down for the bottom, and there is no bottom. The channel you're in is deep. That's why the current chose it. This is the moment your body makes its first big decision, and for most people, it makes it automatically. The beach is behind you, so you turn and you swim for the beach, straight into the treadmill. 1 minute, you are now sprinting against a current that may be moving faster than you can swim, and you are getting nowhere. Or worse, you're still sliding backwards out through the breaking waves. Understand what you are actually racing. Even a trained, competitive swimmer can only hold sprint pace for a very short time. You are not a trained, competitive swimmer. You are a person who was relaxing at the beach 90 seconds ago, and you are burning through your entire reserve of strength against an opponent with an unlimited supply. This right here is how rip currents kill, not by drowning you, by convincing you to exhaust yourself. The current provides the treadmill, panic provides the effort, and when the strength runs out with deep water underneath, that is when people go under. And from the beach, it doesn't even look like trouble. Real drowning is almost silent. There's very little waving, very little shouting, and the body prioritizes breathing over everything else. And a struggling swimmer can look from a distance like someone calmly treading water. The people on the sand may be watching you drown and see nothing at all. Which means surviving the next 2 minutes comes down to one thing, doing the opposite of every instinct you have. 2 minutes, the turn. Here is the fact that changes everything. The rip is not a conveyor belt to the horizon. An oceanographer named Jamie MacMahan spent years dropping GPS trackers and himself into rip currents. What he found rewrote the picture. 80 to 90% of the rips he studied don't flow in a straight line out to sea. They flow in giant, slow circles out through the breakers and back toward the shallows every few minutes. His data suggested something almost absurd. If you do nothing, if you simply relax and float for what he estimated at around 3 minutes, the current itself will often carry you most of the way back. 3 minutes of floating versus 3 minutes of fighting. One costs you nothing, the other can cost you everything. The rip can't drown a floating human. It can only drown a fighting one. But, and this matters, the science here is genuinely contested. You've seen the signs at the beach. Don't fight the current. Swim parallel to the shore. It's official advice, and it can absolutely work. The problem MacMahan found is that if the rip is circulating, you can't tell which way it's turning. So swimming parallel becomes a coin flip. 50-50, you're swimming with the circle and you pop out. 50-50, you're fighting it all over again, just sideways. Floating isn't perfect either. Research on other coastlines found that many rips circulate for a few laps and then eject whatever they're carrying out past the breakers entirely. Some rips die out just beyond the waves, others run for hundreds of yards. So the honest answer, the one the arguing scientists could probably all sign, is not one trick, it's a sequence. Float first, stay upright, stay breathing, spend nothing. Let the first minute pass and find out what this rip is doing, then read the water. Breaking waves and whitewater means shallow sandbar, that is your exit. If you swim, swim across the current toward the whitewater. And if it feels like a fight, you've picked the wrong direction. Turn around, and the moment you can, wave and yell toward the beach. Because at a lifeguarded beach, the maths of this entire scenario collapses in your favor. The chance of drowning at a beach protected by trained lifeguards is about 1 in 18 million. There's one more trap in this story, and it isn't waiting for you, it's waiting for the people who love you. In North Carolina, researchers went through years of rip current drownings and found something devastating. Roughly 30% of the dead were rescuers, a parent, a friend, someone on the beach who saw a swimmer in trouble and ran straight into the water after them. In many of those cases, the original victim survived. The person who came to save them did not, because they spent everything they had getting there and had nothing left for the swim back. If you ever watch someone get taken by a rip, the correct move feels like betrayal. You stay out of the water, you throw anything that floats, you get the lifeguard or you call for help. That decision saves 2 lives. The heroic sprint into the surf has a long record of ending with 2 funerals instead of none. If all of this sounds theoretical, there is a beach in Sydney, Australia that remembers otherwise. February the 6th, 1938, Bondi Beach, a hot Sunday afternoon, around 35,000 people on the sand, hundreds of swimmers in the water. Just after 3 o'clock, 3 enormous waves rolled in, one after another, so fast the water between them had nowhere to go. And then, all at once, it went. The backwash tore out through a deep channel, and roughly 250 swimmers were swept off their feet and carried out to sea in a single moment. They call it Black Sunday. There had been no warning. The rip hadn't been sitting there all day, waiting to be spotted. It materialized in seconds on one of the most famous, most watched beaches on Earth. 60 lifesavers happened to be on the sand that afternoon. In around 20 minutes, they pulled some 245 people out of the water. 35 of them came back unconscious and were revived on the beach. 5 people never came back at all. It remains the largest mass surf rescue in Australian history, and the clearest proof of the rule this whole story runs on. The water didn't decide who lived. The response did. So, could you survive being swept out by a rip current? Here is the verdict. If you fight it, if you sprint for the beach against an 8-foot-per-second current, your survival is measured in minutes, however strong you are. If you float, the picture flips completely. The current cannot pull you under, it cannot hold you forever. Most rips circulate back toward shore within a few minutes. Most fade beyond the breakers, and a calm, floating swimmer near a life-guarded beach is one of the most survivable emergencies in nature, 1 in 18 million. The rip current doesn't kill the weakest swimmers, it kills the hardest fighters. Survival isn't a test of strength, it's a test of whether you can do nothing, while every cell in your body screams at you to fight. And the next time you stand at the edge of the sand, choosing where to swim, remember the rule that hides in plain sight. The waves are not the danger, the calm water is.